Hey everyone, it's Louisa Tunner-Munson and I am here today to share with you a kind of fun exploration of the USA chart, the birth chart from the 4th of July, 1776 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And also have a little bit of fun around the amazing date that we've got today, the 22nd of February 2022, which of course is 6 2s, which read the same, forwards and backwards using the American date, and also the same up and down, however you look at it. There's quite a few peculiarities. Now, if you like astrology and all things bizarre and all things predictive, you've probably seen some of the memes, just like I have, talking about Pluto return, etc., etc. And so I wanted to unpack it a little bit because how I've read these memes, it implies really heavily that the Pluto return is today, and it shows a complete rebirth and sort of destruction of the old and the rebuilding of the new. I guess what I wanted to do in this session is just to have a moment to have a look at the American chart and have a look at the actual Pluto return itself. Like, what is the American chart going through right now? Is it going through a complete rebirth? If so, how is it happening? Because there's not just the Pluto return going on at the moment with the American chart. There's so much more. I'm also going to play around with asteroid 222 just to see where that fits in, and also asteroid America, and also asteroid 2022. So let's see how things are going. I can see that I've got quite a few people watching already. If you're joining me via YouTube, please do say hi. Write in the chat message, hey, I'm such and such from this place. And if you've got a question, then please, let me have it. I'm also right at the end going to have a look at the old JFK death date, the anniversary of his death. Actually, it's not the anniversary of his death, but looking at the difference in the dates between when he died and today's date, because there's another sort of peculiarity with numerology. So there's a lot going on here. So let's have a look now. I'm going to bring up the first chart. This is the chart from, let me just bring it up big. It would really help me if you could let me know if you can see it clearly. This is the chart for, so you can see at the top, it says United States of America, 4th of July, 1776, Philadelphia at 4:50 p.m. There are a couple of charts for America, but this is the one that is mostly used by astrologers. And then you'll see I've got what's known as the transits for the 22nd of February 2022. That shows the current placement of the planets. Now, I'm going to squiz it down to here so you can just see. But before I analyze it, I just want to check that you really can see what I'm sharing with you. Yes, you can. That's good. Okay. So the Pluto return, this is Pluto here in the American chart. And these are all the other planets in their places according to the day of the 4th of July, 1776. This gives us the character of America. So, for instance, Pluto in this chart is in the second house, to do with finance, to do with resources, and very much to do with the value of America. Pluto is also in a trine with Neptune. Now, astrologers, everyone that's listening here, everyone listening right here, none of you will have anything like Neptune in a trine with Pluto, because they both move so slowly. In our lifetime, Neptune and Pluto have been 60 degrees away from each other, not 120. I mean, that goes to show just how slowly these planets are moving in their relative speeds. And we've got the sun over here, the moon down here, Saturn here. Now, when we're looking at astrology, we're always looking, astrologers, at where the current planets are and what that might mean. Now, right now, Pluto is right over natal Pluto. Now, this doesn't happen to any living human unless you live, beyond 248 years or so. You have to be super old for that to happen. Most of us only have Pluto move, say, 90 degrees in our lifetime, maybe a bit more if we're lucky. Pluto represents all control issues, in particular secretive control issues, in particular megalomaniacal types of control. It represents the mysterious, controlled ethos. It represents the darkest sides of humanity. It represents that which is so dark in our psyche that we cannot face it. Pluto shows us where we are too afraid to look in our own birth chart. So this is a point of deep mystery and darkness in America. And so it's interesting that it's in the sign of Capricorn, which is the sign of big business and big organizations. And it's in the second house to do with money and finances and resources. So this to me says, right at the start, that what's driving America is big business and the money and resources, and the control mechanisms are hidden, or have been up until now. And they are such that you cannot look at them, you cannot analyze them, you cannot change them. It's that which will not yield. And whenever we have Pluto in our chart, wherever it is, it shows us where we are absolutely too afraid to yield and let go of any control that we have. Now, when I look at a chart, I usually see what these planets are related to. So, for instance, talking just about Pluto being in a return and saying, oh, it's death and destruction of America, that's almost not enough. We need more than that, because how does Pluto actually relate in this chart? So I'm just going to quickly say a couple of hellos, and then I'll answer that question. I've got a hello from Anne Beryl Cox coming to us from Scotland. So, hey, Anne, it's very nice to be joined by you. Nubianette is saying, hey, I'm listening while working. Thank you so much. And coming from California. And we've also got Jackie, who's messaged us saying, hey, beautiful, from Missouri. Thank you very much for joining us. So Pluto represents that which we cannot let go of in our charts. Now, your Pluto, if you're American, or, for the country itself, this is about the personality of America. Pluto is in a very strong trine to this point here, the midheaven. Now, the midheaven shows its ambition. It shows its standing in the world. It shows how it represents itself, its reputation. And so if you think about it, America, for as long as I've been alive, has kind of touted itself, or maybe has actually been the best country around. Who knows? But that's how I grew up. I grew up thinking, wow, America, this big place where everything is big and where people dream big and achieve big. And so it's had this very inflated reputation. It's quite possible that people growing up now might think of America and think of its reputation as, whoa, it's full of big business and lots of controls and lots of secrets. Who knows? But Pluto really does represent our darkest aspects. Now, you've also got Neptune right on your midheaven, showing that this is also a place of dreams. Neptune is the place of dreams, things that we can imagine, things that can confuse us, things that can delight us. It's magical. So magic is very strong in America. But if you think about Hollywood, if you think about the music industry, if you think about gaming and all sorts of inventions, it all seems to come from America. And we are being shown here, in the birth chart of America, that America becomes known, its reputation is known for fake realities. It, in my lifetime, and I'm guessing in all of your lifetimes, we have learned to live less in our real world and more in the imagined world of film, of media, of news, of music, of all these things. And now we've got the metaverse, the inorganic actual universe kind of represented by computers. So there's all these sort of fantasies and role plays and things like that. And also, like I said, magic. And that connects up to Pluto. Now, this could be deeply powerful and funded very powerfully by very powerful people. But you could also read this, that there is something deeply evil and deeply unholy going on underneath the surface that America's not, aware of. So at one level, it's like land of dreams, and then underneath it, what's underpinning it. So, that is really clear from the chart. Now, another interesting planet going on, and these are the two furthest planets of the solar system. The next one from the edge of the solar system is Uranus. Now, Uranus is right on the descendant. Now, the descendant represents the people, everyone that we're projecting onto. And Uranus is the planet of sudden changes, sudden breaks. It's also the planet of independence. And so, yes, we've also got this idea that the people of America are independent. Come to America and you can make your dream. It's the age-old idea of if you work hard enough, you'll get somewhere and you'll be able to create your dream of independence. I could read so much into this, and I don't want to go too deep. I really just want to have a look at Pluto and what's going on. The moon is also interesting because the moon represents the public. And the moon is in the sign of Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. So the public, the actual real life people, not just the projected people represented by this spot here, but the actual people are also showing up as independent people with big ideas, people who have definite ideas of socialism, and people who want to travel far and wide and want to have intellectual big conversations. This is a country with a soul. Like the country's soul has a big aim. It's huge. So here's where we get to the crux. So Pluto is right here, right now. It is true, Pluto has returned on the 22nd of February 2022, a little bit before, according to where you are in the world. For me, it got there on the 21st, but hey, it's just how we set our clocks. So it is right over Pluto. But what hasn't been taken into account with these memes is that these planets keep on moving, and these outer planets, they keep moving this way. They're always going this way. However, because of the relative speed of the planet as we observe it from Earth, what happens is, as we are charting the position of Pluto, Pluto will appear to move in this anti-clockwise direction, and then at some point, hang on, where is it? At the end of April, Pluto will go backwards, and then at around July time, I think it is. Yeah, July, Pluto will be back here at this exact same space. So, you might ask yourself, well, hang on, when are we rebuilding America? When is it all collapsing according to these memes? And then as Pluto goes back this way, he then starts to go forwards again. So it's like a one step forwards, two steps forwards, one step back. It's always moving forwards, but does a little dance backwards. So actually Pluto is passing over this point 3 times this year. And today marks the start of it, but it's not the end of it. And that's the purpose of me, talking you through this. So what start we get off to from right now, it's just the opening gambit. That's the first thing to recognize, is it is just the very, very sort of like opening start. This is like saying, okay, we've got a line drawn in the sand. We've got back to the place of where we were at the start. And now we need to look at new kinds of controls and systems. Now, it's helpful to talk about clients when they come to me. So, for instance, most people, Pluto, where he moves, shows where we can't let go of things and where we must let go of things, because if we don't evolve. And so a lot of people come to me when, let's say Pluto is over their moon, or Pluto is over this part. Oh, hang on, I need to move my mouse here. So Pluto, if it's over somebody's moon, they might have an emotional breakthrough and a breakdown, like breakdown first, breakthrough later. So it might be like the end of a relationship, or a need to change something in the relationship. When people have Pluto go over their ascendant, it often shows that there's something about themselves that they are breaking down on and breaking through. So something about personal identity, where they're going in life, their direction, possibly where they're living. When Pluto goes over somebody's sun, and I've had it go over my ascendant and my sun, and in fact loads of my planets, when it goes over your sun, your ego, like your sort of outer personality of what people know you for, is really pulled into question. And most people, that have Pluto going over it tend to have a bit of a breakdown. That's why Capricorns, in this last decade have have not been very Capricorn-like. They've been very emotional because Pluto's been going over their sun. Now, we don't, as humans, get to see what happens when Pluto goes over Pluto. So if you think Pluto is about the controls, the what's hidden, and what is subversive and what is grabbing power, right now we are about to have a breakdown of everything that is holding everything in place. Pluto also represents evil. So any evil that exists within the American Constitution is going to be revealed, and it will need to be broken down and unpacked before it can be moved forwards and we can have a breakthrough on it. Anything to do with secrets, which Pluto also rules, and death, and believe it or not, pandemics. This will all come under Pluto's scrutiny. So everything that we've been holding on to, the secrets, the lies, the power games, the secret deals that hold humanity in place, the resources, because this is a second house. So the resources of every American that they use, so it'd be water, gas, electricity, everything to do with resources will be, really looked at. Banking, personal banking, the second house is about our personal banking. All of that is going to be coming up. And any secrets that have held these things in place almost against the will, because Pluto is also about taking hostage. Pluto kidnaps, like Pluto in Greek mythology is also known as Hades, who kidnapped Persephone. He took like the little child under the ground, according to Greek mythology. So, we've got Pluto here. What has happened is going to be revealed, and it's about to come crashing down. So this is a huge, huge thing. But like I said, Pluto is going to keep moving, and then in July is going to go back over this spot, and then it's clearing this spot at the end of the year on the 27th of December. So this isn't all happening today. This is a process. Now, there are other things going on that I think are also significant, and there's no memes written about them yet, but let me share those with you. Now, Neptune, about all that is illusory and magical and deceitful, also spiritual, because it's also higher love. Everything that is illusory, everything that shows a different way of perceiving the world is also under scrutiny. So this is Neptune. And now, right now, at this moment in time, see, that's at 22 degrees in the sign of Virgo, and it's very close to the reputation of America. Right now, Neptune is at 22 degrees in the sign of Pisces. It's completely in its opposition. Now, this is also a huge thing to go through. Lots of clients arrive at an astrologist when Neptune is in opposition to the sun or the moon or the ascendant, because it marks a time of deep confusion, like really big confusion, because it's all about everything that is an illusion in our life and everything that we connect with. Like I always think of Neptune as the urge to merge, where we almost can't bear to be ourselves. So we're either losing ourselves in the most seedy ways we can, or the most fun and exciting ways we can, like drink, drugs, inappropriate sex, and like we do things so we forget who we are. That's one of the ways that Neptune delights us. And Neptune has done a great job in America's chart with Hollywood, with the music industry, with gaming, for instance, where we're living in another world, and now with the metaverse. But Neptune also shows our spirituality. And again, America has shown the world lots of spiritual gurus, whether they are real or not, who knows? And lots of spirituality has come out of America. And again, there is the urge to merge. There's the urge for us to lose ourselves. We forget who we are because we're merging with the collective. So there is that theme. And right now, we are at the most confusing point in this cycle. So I think this is also not just a revelation of what has been going on behind the scenes, but it's also our eyes opening and us saying, oh my goodness, have we been in a dream? Wow. So there's like spiritual truths. It's like the scales are falling from our eyes. So it's, where have we been deceived? And also, much more strongly, where have we deceived ourselves? This is really big. Now, I want to move on to another chart because this is where we are right now on the 22nd of February, but there's so much more. And I'm just going to check in to see if we've got any questions. No questions. So if anyone does have any questions, just, lay them out. Let me know. So we're on to this chart. Now, this chart is for the 2nd of March. Now, this is the chart of the new moon in Pisces, which is coming up on the 2nd of March, 2022. Now, I've just brought in the time, place, and date, but not actually the exact time of the new moon. But the moon will be here at the time of the new moon. So the new moon on the 2nd of March, we've got the sun, we've got the moon, and we've got Jupiter at 11 to 12 degrees in the sign of Pisces, and it's going to be in a trine with the sun in the sign of Cancer. It's also going to be in a square to the ascendant. We've got this opening. First of all, the new moon in Pisces is one of the most psychic, empathic, intuitive, and boundaryless new moons. And it is in a conjunction with Jupiter, which is a planet of expansion. So that is happening. Pluto is still on its natal Pluto. We've also got Mars and Venus there. So it's almost like everyone is transforming. It's not just the systems. Come the beginning of March, it's only in a couple of weeks' time, we've got the men and women going through a transformation, feeling deeply intuitive and talking about it. This is all happening in the 3rd house of America. So people are starting to talk in terms of intuition, deception, but mainly, I think, compassion and everything that we can't quantify, everything feeling and kind of psyche based. Like deception does come into it. That's a negative example of where we may have confused ourselves. But this is a really, really big opening. And then for the next month and a half, the energies are all moving through this Pisces area and culminating on the 12th of April into a conjunction. I'm just going to bring it up right now, hopefully, if I bring up the right chart. Is this, 12th of April. So on the 12th of April, we've got Jupiter and Neptune in a very rare conjunction. It happens once every, say, 13 years. And it is the very last one for at least another 144 years until it's in the sign of Pisces. Jupiter and Neptune both rule the sign of Pisces. So to have these two planets together at this time in the last couple of degrees of Pisces is very rare. It's showing the end of an intuitive and an end of a religious and an end of a psychic journey for people. And we can all tune into this energy. I see this as being a big heart swell event. And I will probably do another video about actually the Jupiter and Neptune event. It's huge. But where this is happening in the chart of America, this point here is in opposition to, like, this is America's reputation. This is how America likes to be seen up here. But what's actually going on is it's in a conjunction with the angle to do with the home, the behaviors, the belief systems of America. So we have got one of the most expansive aspects this year to do with spirituality, belief systems, the psyche, our intuition, our ability to sense more truth and to want to find peace and love and that big heart swell. We've got this massive heart swell coming in at the beliefs and behaviors of America. It's like America is having an awakening, is how I'm reading it. And as that is also happening, we've got Saturn very close to the moon. It's people becoming responsible and growing up. We've also got Mars and Juno over this point here. Pluto is still over Pluto because it moves so slowly. There's a lot going on. So that's April. So it's not just about the Pluto return. Pluto return is also happening at this immense time. Now, on the 12th of July, when Pluto is exact over Pluto again, you've also got Neptune exactly on the angle to do with the home, still in opposition with Neptune up here. So to me, how I think of it is between now and July, we have got the most amount of instability in terms of psychic awakening. To me, it feels between now and July, America as a country are awakening. The people that live in America are having this massive wake-up call. The scales are falling from their eyes. They're seeing the hand underneath the systems. The systems are all breaking down. And what they thought they knew from media, from the news, from Hollywood, from music, etc., it's all falling away. And actually what's happening is people are having to reconnect at a soul level. And for people who are very used to letting go of things and forgiving and being compassionate and looking at their stuff, this is, I'm not going to say it's a walk in a park. It is going to bring up a lot of emotions. For people who don't like looking at stuff and hold very hard and fast belief systems, and who believe in the systems that are there, and who believe in everything that comes from Hollywood, and who believe everything that comes from the pharmaceuticals, the MSM, etc. For people like that, they're going to have a real difficulty. And so I think July marks the time when things are going to really start changing. It almost feels like you're going to take a step backwards, because during that time, what's happening is we've had almost time to experience this expansion, but there's also a bit of grief going on. Neptune often shows us grief, especially when it's connected to the part of the home. We don't know where we're going. We don't know where we belong. Like, where do we belong now? Like, are we American? You know, all of these things about belonging and our nationality, etc. It's all up in the air. It's immense. I can see we've got some comments coming in from people watching. Benjamin Stubbs, my good friend. Hey, loving this. Fascinating. Well, I'm looking forward to getting you on my show soon. And Kate Tolson, hello. Popcorn is ready. I understand you there, my love. Yes, it does sound very exciting. You know, for everybody who's been like waiting for the idea of the awakening, this is an amazing time. And for people who are really used to playing with psychic energies and healing themselves and going into different sort of like healing states, meditation and stuff like that, and astral travel, projection, you know, for people who work with this sort of psychic invisible energy, or the matrices of soul holographs and whatnot, this is actually a very creative time. This is a great time, but it is very confusing, because you know, we don't really know where things are. So I think things are going to go quite wonky for a while, to say the very least. And I see a turning point. So I see July being a very unstable month. So July, people are wondering, who am I? Who am I? And then towards the end of July, something else really big is coming up. And so we've still got Pluto over Pluto. We've still got Neptune down here in opposition to itself over the home. Like, where do I belong? And then Uranus and the North Node coincide. Now, these guys get together very infrequently. This is like every 19 years probably, because it takes the North Node around just shy of that to get back to its starting place. So at least every 19 years this occurs. Now, this is the North Node to do with karma. We've got Uranus, which is the planet of freedom, the planet of liberty, the planet of chaos, and like the ending of something and the new start. So these energies are coming together. And we've also got Mars there. Now, Mars is the masculine principle. I mean, worst case scenario, we've got all of the energy necessary for some kind of civil war or something like that. Or it could just be peace. It could be lots of people standing firm and, you know, like convoys in different parts of the world, people peacefully protesting. I want to say peaceful because that's where my heart is. At that time, let's just see, where's Saturn? Is it still? Yeah. See, at this time, Saturn is still in a square to Uranus, and it's going to be in a square to Uranus, the North Node, and Mars. So to me, I think it is the people standing firm against Saturn, which represents the middle management. I see this as being a time when a lot of police, people in sort of middle management authority are going to come to their senses, or, you know, kind of actually think, where are my allegiances here? Is it with the rulers of the systems, or is it the users of the systems? Now, the other interesting thing with this very big, conjunction between freedom, our soul contract, and taking a stand, it's right on the cusp between the 5th house of imagination and farting about and the 6th house of getting down to the hard work. So actually, I think July starts off with this, who are we, and ends with, this is who we are. We are getting back to the business of determining who we are. So I think this is a turning point. July is a turning point. Of course, in July, there is also the 4th of July coming up. July is a very important month, isn't it, to Americans? So yes, I do think that is also very important. So much going on. And then the last chart of the Pluto collection, the Pluto return, and this is when it ends, and that's on the 27th of December. So just to sort of reiterate, Pluto is here as of today's date, the 22nd of February. It moves forward, starts going back at the end of April, then mid-July, it's back here, goes backwards, then it starts moving forwards again, and then it ends here on the 27th of December. Thereafter, it's going to be moving forwards, and the next time it moves back, it's just not going to get back to this. So it's going to make a clear path over Pluto. This marks the end of it. Now, a little aside that I want to say. In fact, got some more comments, so let's just keep ahead of those. Benjamin Stubbs is saying, so what do you think could happen? How do you feel the truth will be revealed? Oh, that's a good one. I'll give you some ideas right in my last couple of slides, because I've got asteroid 222222 and also 2022 and also asteroid America. That's a good question. Can't wait to be on with you. Thank you so much, Benjamin. I think it's great fun, and we'll have some fun with Jay as well. And Kate Tolson saying lots of momentum building in the energy of freedom. Absolutely. I mean, that is actually, I think, the key to this exciting chart. So I love that people have said, yes, today there's the Pluto return. But as you can see from this, the Pluto return takes such a long time. Like when I'm working through clients, working with clients as Pluto goes over something for them, the initial passes, like from the first pass to the end pass, goes by in about, between 9 and 11 months. But actually, you've still got a year and a half either side of that, as you're feeling it. A lot of us are quite intuitive. We start to feel the energies of things brewing beforehand, like we know it's in the post before it happens. A bit like relationships don't just fall apart. They grow apart, and most people can find the day when a relationship ends, but actually it starts ending a lot sooner. And so actually the whole Pluto return really started actually at the start of the pandemic, when Pluto met up with Jupiter and Saturn at 23 degrees in the sign of Capricorn. And it will continue until Pluto passes out of Capricorn. So this change is an evolution, but we are really in the critical period of it. And so that, I think, is really exciting. But as you can see, we're at the start of the critical period. And the critical period really comes to an end at December. And then, the big challenge for everyone is, okay, so we are really rebuilding our lives. And where do we come from here? Anyone that's gone through a relationship breakup, the loss of somebody, moving to a different country, just in our lives, like we moved to live in Portugal 4.5 years ago. It has knocked us for 6. It's taken us the best part of 4 years to settle as a family. Now we're talking about the collective aims and dreams of millions, billions of people. Because also what happens in America will have a knock-on effect on all the other countries, because if we start seeing the democratic process falling down and breaking down, how's that going to knock on to all the other countries? This is like dominoes. So something really big is about to happen. Right. So anyway, this is the chart for December, and like I say, it marks the end of it, but it's really just the end of the intense period, and we are, going into this rebuilding phase. Now, actually, I'm quite happy with that. There's a couple of other charts I just wanted to point out, and this is the just for fun one. So I said at the start I would have asteroid 222222. Now, what interests me about this in the chart of America, and this is so bizarre, is that it's at 0 degrees in the sign of Aries. Now, anyone that knows much about astrology will know that the zodiac is a belt that we perceive around, goes like from Aries all the way around to Pisces. Now, 0 degrees Aries is the start of our astrological belt. It's like midnight, I guess. It's like 1 minute past midnight. It is that moment of a new start. So this point here represents an opening chapter. It's fascinating that asteroid 222222, given that this is the return date, the Pluto return, the asteroid itself is at 0 degrees in the sign of Aries in the chart of America. So even though that asteroid probably hadn't even been discovered back then when it was named, the synchronicity and the fun of it is that it's at the opening chapter. Now, if we have a look at where it is now, 222222 is at, seriously, I'm not kidding, it is at 0 degrees in the sign of Libra. So it is in exact opposition. It's not right now, it's on the 6th of March. Right now, it's actually just here, like 3 degrees, but it's in opposition to its starting place. But just after the new moon, the next new moon, in just a matter of a couple of weeks, this new start kind of switch in the American chart is also activating. So that's a little bit of fun. So I'm actually thinking that the energy of this 22222, the energy that we've got today, is somehow significant to the country of America. It actually feels like today marks a switch, like a turning point, which will become even more evident around the 6th of March. So that 2nd of March new moon and, like the next few days after it, it feels like a very intense time. And that's not far away. We're literally, like 10 to 12 days away. Now, the other asteroid I wanted to share with you is, it's called Asteroid West, but the actual number of it is 2022. And I've been using it quite a bit for a bit of fun, just to see, where is your chart in 2022? Interestingly, 2022, like the energy of 2022 in America's chart, is at 0 degrees in the sign of Gemini. The chances of these two asteroids with the 2022, the 2222 kind of programming, both being at 0 degrees in a chart on the day of the incorporation of America, the Constitution, the chances of that are like, it's unfathomable. It's one of those mysteries. Another one is that asteroid America is at 27 degrees in the sign of Libra, in an exact square to Pluto. So interestingly, when the Constitution came about on the 4th of July 1776, the idea of America was at odds with the controls, the secret controls behind the scenes. But America was very much sold to the people. America is about the people. It's not about the politics. It's not about the money systems. It's not about all the controls. The true spirit of America is about the people. And it's interesting because, we the people you see that all over the place. So that's interesting. In the American chart, it's about the people. And right now we've got Pluto back on his top spot. He's returned, and it's stressing out the idea of America. So it's about the people, and I see it coming back to the people. And it's not about the big business. It's about reappropriating everything and seeing things from the collective. So I see that as being very fun and very interesting. And just another sort of like aside is asteroid West and America. So 2022 and America are in a conjunction over Jupiter and Venus. Now, Jupiter and Venus in this chart are about the generosity of people, the love and compassion and forgiveness. And so right now, and, leading up to the 6th of March, what's going on with the spirit of America? The spirit of America in 2022, as noted by this asteroid, is coming into a feeling of deep generosity, connection, and forgiveness. So I just love that. I think that's amazing. I think there might be just one more chart. Oh yeah, this is the last one that I want to share with you. As an astrologer, I also look at the progressed moons for people. You don't need to know how the progressions are calculated, but suffice to say, when the progressed moon comes back to its original spot, it shows a new start, like a new emotional start for the chart. Now, right now, the progressed moon is it's almost right now it's actually here. It's about 8 months away, 7.5 months away from coming into a conjunction with the moon. So this chart is for the 22nd of September 2022. Around this time in September, the moon, which is the emotions and the psyche, the psyche of America is coming back home. So to me, I think if I was to put it into context, let me just remove that. If I'm just going to kind of sum it up, right now we're going into a kind of spiritual wilderness. Those who are primed and ready for it are going to have this beautiful awakening and an expansioning. America is awakening. For those of you that listen, that have awakened, I mean, I haven't gone through the process myself, but, we all know people that, or some of us know people that have. It's not always a comfortable thing, realizing where we have lied to ourselves through no real fault of our own. We're going through a really, really intense time. And then July, we're feeling like we're orphans, like we don't know where we belong. And then towards the end of July, American people start to stand even firmer. And there is a definite feeling of independence. And then from September, it feels like the spirit of America is really back. And then by December, it looks like, okay, let's roll up our sleeves. We're getting back to work. And so I see this as being a really, really intense time. And of course, then we've still got the passing out of Pluto. But I think between now and Christmas, most of the hard work is going to come about. I'm just going to say, just share with you some more comments that are coming in. Mermaid Gabriel is saying, ready for this. Well, coming from my place in Portugal, I'm totally ready for this. We're meeting lots of Americans at the moment because there are so many actually fleeing America right now. They're not sure if they want to be there. They're coming over to Portugal and seeing it as a safe place. I'm seeing lots of people from all around the world. A lot of my clients are all moving locations and trying to find the right place to be. It's an interesting time. Kate Tolson is saying, would you say that opposition denotes karmic destiny? Yeah, absolutely. I think we are going through a karmic time. I think for a lot of us, it almost feels like we were born for this time. And for a lot of us, and in particular, if I have a look at your birth chart, or if you look at your own birth chart, you might realize that it's almost like we're coming of age, a lot of us. It feels like we are actually knowing why we're here now. It's almost like for a lot of people I'm working with, it feels like their karma has already completed, like they've already done what they needed to do, and actually they're here now for the ride and to help embed, but they don't really need to be here, but they're choosing to be. So I think there's a real change in consciousness just from what I'm noticing with the people I'm working with, and also from the charts. So yeah, I think yes, this is a very karmic destined time. Thank you for that. Gaining Wisdom is saying independent, one free of outside control, not depending on another's authority, not depending on another for livelihood or subsistence. Yeah, it's interesting. That may well happen. I'm not entirely sure if we can all live like that. I suspect, we might have some little steps, as we work with local authorities, or we create our own local authorities and we start to create our own rules. I think as people, we probably feel like we need rules. We've been so brainwashed into accepting that, you know, we cannot survive without these things in place. It's almost like we have all these shorthands in place. Like if your car breaks down, you go to a mechanic, and, you know, if you do this, that, and the other. And what we might do is we'll find local experts and we'll all sort of skill share. I don't exactly know how it's going to be, but I think it's going to be quite exciting and very chaotic as well. It's going to be heartbreaking for a lot of people, I think. Jackie, I have goosebumps. Beautiful. Anne Burrell Cox, thank you. This was absolutely fascinating, even though I'm not American. I know it is absolutely amazing and interesting. And I think the knock-on effects are going to roll out across the world for sure. And actually, you know, nearer the time, you know, I can look at other country charts as well and see what's going on there. And Ben is saying, for me, I always wonder how it starts. Will media switch, news, etc.? All it takes is for them to tell the truth to awake the masses. Yeah, well, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because yeah, if the truth was spoken, there'd still be a lot of people, I think, that would think it was April Fool's Day or think, no, that can't be. I think it'll have to be really big, whatever comes out. Now, there was one thing that I wanted to share for those of you that are still watching, and this is the really fun bit. Because for those of you, like, I mean, we're all here because we like coincidences and numbers, right? Well, I did notice in one of these memes that there is an interesting connection between the date that JFK Jr. apparently died. So it's reported that he died on July the 16th, 1999. Sorry, I realized I was reading that off and not sharing the screen. Hang on one second. I just want to show you that where it is on the screen. So I'm going to share a Chrome tab. Okay, here we go. So you can see here that it says, if I just bring it up bigger, it says, oh, I can't, I can't easily do that. But where my mouse is, it says he died on the July the 16th, 1999. I'm just going to change my share now. Hang on. And show you, this is incredible. Now these date things are really quite amazing. I use this website a lot. Now, this website I'm going to share with you. Hang on, let me just go back. This is timeanddate.com, and I really recommend it to people who are fascinated by dates, the start of seasons, the exact moments of a new moon, an eclipse, etc. Locally. I mean, it will tell you wherever you are in the world what time that new moon or eclipse starts. Now, it also allows you to calculate the days between two dates. Now, it said that JFK Jr. died on the 16th of July, 1999. Now, I've calculated this date for 2021 because I want to see how many actual days between the last 16th of July and today's date. So the duration between the 16th of July, 2021 and today's date is 222 days. Now I'm going to change this to 1999. You'll see why I've done it like this in a second. Right, so the day he died to today's date is 22 years, 7 months and 7 days. But that 7 months and 7 days, as we've just found out, is actually 222 days. So the actual difference between the day Junior died and the Pluto return and this 6-2 day is 22 years, 222 days. Now, get this. The amount of days, I don't know if you can see this, I hope you can, but it's 8,258 days in total since he died, apparently. 8,258 days. So let's have a little think. Oh, I've actually included one extra date, actually including today's date. Actually, when I calculated it before, it was 8,257. And 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 7 is 22. But because I've included that day, it's 23. I was just going to give you another 22, but I can't. Anyway, I hope that was fun. So I started this saying, we're going to have a look at the Pluto return. Is it just a one-day event, or is it something much bigger? I've also wanted to bring about the idea that it's not just Pluto return that is changing America. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. And then I've included the asteroid 222222 and also the asteroid 2022 and also the asteroid America into the mix to see what was going on. And then we had that fun little bit at the end with JFK Jr. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I have. It's been great fun. I hope that's given you some insight. If you found this fun, please do share. If you like this kind of thing, then please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that next time I do one of these crazy explorations, you can be there and join in. Thank you so much, wherever you are. I've had a great time, and hopefully I'll see you again real soon. So bye for now. Enjoy the rest of this 222222 day. Take care. Bye.